I feel like self-awareness is really important in music, but it can also be a curse when it flies out of control and you become like, imposter syndrome kind of thing. Like, wait, should I really be here? Do I suck? Like
100%. I play this music festival every February in Arizona Music Fest. It's just like this ridiculous orchestra that nobody's ever heard of. It's like, players from New York and Chicago and Cleveland and the Met.
I saw you post that on Facebook one year. I was like, what? That's the roster here? What the hell? I've never heard of this.
It's just ridiculous. Chris Martin's been out there, and Billy Gerlach from National Symphony comes out a lot. And this last year, Conrad Jones came, principal at Indianapolis.
Okay.
He is just such a great guy and just a sweet player. Just amazing.
He grew up on Long Island.
Musical guy.
Like pretty close to where I grew up.
That's right. He did. That's right. Yeah. And so we were talking one night, and he says, I'm working on your shortcomings is something that's very important, but it's almost, you reach a point where it starts to become self-defeating. Mm-hmm. It's like, because then it starts to eat at your confidence. It's like, wow, I just really can't, triple tongue any faster or whatever it is that you're working on, so it has to be balanced with a lot of stuff that kind of keeps your confidence level high. Yeah. And I was like, such a great insight. And the funny thing is, I tried to recruit him for Hot Springs one year, and then he went and won a job, I think in Tucson or something like that. So he was too busy. So, but, and here we were, a few years later, bonding like that as peers. It was just really kind of a cool experience, so.
I think that what you just said is like that I've come to this realization over the past year a lot, and it's kind of the philosophy of this podcast we tried to make, which is that every value needs some kind of competing value to keep it in check. So like the Kodawari philosophy is the idea of like aiming at perfection, attending to all the details along the way, but it has this other part of like also know that you cannot achieve it, but still attempt the achieving it anyways. And it's the knowledge that you can't achieve it, which makes you, like in a performance, for example, just let go and go lift up your legs and float downstream and just see what happens, because you have to have that letting go combined with the fight of perfection and aiming it and details and all of that stuff. That's probably what he was talking about. Like the inner critic needs the inner Buddha that also loves you or something,
It's like, I've often said that trumpet players, have confidence and self-doubt in abundance. Both of those things kind of coexist at the same time. And I think most good musicians do as well. Because we're highly self-critical. And it took me a while, and I think it takes most musicians a while. Some people never reach this point where they are able to walk off stage and go, "Wow, that was really great." Because it's like, it's we're always driven for perfection. We're driving for perfection all our lives. And it's difficult sometimes to just stand back and go, all right, nailed it. That was great, because we still walk off stage remembering that clam we had or something, And, so, sometimes we have to cut ourselves a little bit of slack to enjoy the moment and realize, hey, we're doing what we do. We did Mahler 5, a couple of seasons ago. I forget when it was. A couple of seasons ago, maybe. And right before the conductor walked out, I turned to our principal trombone player. I'm like, hey, what did you want to do when you were a kid? He goes, well, I guess this right here. I'm like, damn right. And we're fucking doing it. Yeah. We're playing Mahler 5 right now. That's where it's at, You have
it's those like out of body
I'm not going to sit there and be nervous about. Yeah. It's like, look, it's like the bottom of the 9th inning and the 7th game of the World Series score tied, There are two kinds of players. They're the ones who go, this is what I've dreamed about my whole life. I hope I don't fuck it up. And then there's the guys who are like, this is what I dreamed about my whole life, and now I get to live it for real. Who's going to win the game? Yeah. Those second guys, right? And so you got to enjoy it when you're in the moment, because you got to remember this is what we've always wanted to do, and we're doing it, So, but, then the next day, okay, how am I going to fix this? How am I going to fix that?
You wake up, have a cup of coffee, and then go, all right, this is what went wrong. I've got a week before the next thing. How can I address it? Yeah, it's funny. It's
so I'm really into, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's that opposite idea I really love. I think it was Niels Bohr, this famous physicist or particle physicist. He said, the opposite of a shallow truth is a falsehood, but the opposite of a deep truth is another truth. And it's like, you should be critical of your playing and always seek to improve yourself. That's true. You should just be in the moment and love everything that's coming out of your playing and just go with the flow. That's also true. But they're obviously a contradiction there, but at the deep level, you have to be both at the same time. It's like two sides of the same coin kind of thing.